Okay, let's solve the following equation. 2 cosine squared 2 pi plus x equals 3 cosine half a pi minus x plus 2. So first of all, I want to get rid of squared, cosine squared. Okay, so what I want to do, so I'm looking, I have 2 cosine squared 2 pi plus x. And I'm looking, comparing to this formula here. What am I missing here? I'm missing minus 1, right? To the applied formula. So can I add minus 1? Absolutely. So this is what I will do. 2 cosine squared 2 pi plus x. I'm going to do here minus 1 and equal 3 cosine half a pi minus x, let me see, pi minus x plus 2 and also minus 1. Remember, whatever change we do to one side of equation, we have to do exactly same change to the other side of equation. And what do we get if I apply that formula? I'm going to get cosine, cosine 4 pi plus 2x, and that is equal 3 cosine pi over 2 minus x and plus 1. Yes? Okay, so now cosine 4 pi plus 2x, I'm going to apply formula, this one, and I'm going to get cosine 4 pi cosine 2x, right? Where do we have cosine 2 pi, cosine 2x? So since I have plus, then I will have here minus, right? So it's going to be minus sine 4 pi sine 2x equal 3 times. So let's open up cosine alpha minus beta. It's going to be cosine half a pi cosine x minus sine half a pi sine x and plus 1. Okay, let's see what we have. We have cosine 4 pi. This is 0, coming back, getting to pi, which is 360 degrees. Going one more circle, getting 4 pi, 720 degrees, which is going to be cosine is going to be 1. Yes? And then minus sine 4 pi, sine in that position is 0. Yes? Next, cosine half a pi is 0. Sine half a pi is 1. Oops, here, sorry, here there has to be plus. Cosine is working opposite. If it have at the half a pi minus x, then here you are getting plus. Okay, right here, see, if it's plus, here is minus, so don't forget that. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got cosine 2x, this is gone, 0, is equal 3 sine x plus 1. Okay, so from here we are getting cosine 2x. Where is the formula? I need to get rid of 2x because I have sine. Here cosine, sine, 2x and x. So I definitely have to bring 2x to 1x. So where is my 2x here? The same, this formula, right? It's gonna be, let me apply. It's going to be 2 cosine squared x minus 1 equal 3 sine x plus 1. Okay, so cosine square x, where I'm going to apply this formula. Sine square plus cosine square equal 1, right? So from here, 2 cosine square is equal twice. Cosine square equal 1 minus sine squared x minus 1 equal 3 sine x plus 1. Okay, opening parenthesis, we are getting 2 minus 2 sine square x minus 1 minus 3 sine x minus 1 equals 0. This 2 is cancelling with this negative 1, and we get negative 2 sine square x minus 3 sine x equals 0. Okay, if I take negative sine x out, I get 2 sine x plus 3 equals 0. And from here, I have either sine x equals 0, which x is equal pi n, right? Or 2 sine x plus 3 equals 0, and 2 sine x equal negative 3, and sine x is equal negative 3 over 2. All right? So what is interesting here, we know that sine cosine can be greater equal negative 1, less equal positive 1. And we have negative 1.5, so this for this one, no solution. So we have only, the answer is pi n. Okay, moving to next equation. Next equation is sine to power 4, 4x minus cosine to power 4x equal sine 2x. And we need to solve it, x on interval between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay? So first of all, sine to power 4 minus cosine to power 4. I'm going to open as a squared minus b squared, which is going to be sine square x square x minus cosine square x multiplied by sine square x plus cosine square x equal sine 2x. As we know, based on formula, you see, that's a fundamental formula that sine square x plus cosine square x is equal 1. Is equal 1. So I can put this is equal 1. And I will have sine square x minus cosine square x, and minus this double angle sine to x. I will apply a double angle formula, which is going to be sine to alpha is equal to sine alpha cosine alpha, which is going to be minus 2 sine x cosine x equals 0. Next, the problem is I have here sine x multiplied by cosine x. It will be difficult to get rid of, and I have too much of mixture, sine and cosine. Therefore, the only way I am looking here, dividing by cosine squared. Dividing cosine square x, dividing by cosine square x. What do we get here? First of all, this here cosine x is gone with this square, and result sine divided by cosine is tangent, right? So I'm getting tangent square x. This is gone, minus 1, and minus 2 sine over cosine. I will get 2 tangent x, because I had cosine squared, right? One cosine is gone with the cosine in numerator, and I have left still in denominator another cosine. So sine over cosine, it's been tangent equals 0. Okay, so from here I am getting tangent square x minus 2 tangent x minus 1 equals 0. As you can see, we are getting quadratic equation. So I'm going to replace tangent x is, I can't take as an x, replace with x because I am using x. So I can replace, let's replace with z. Okay, so since I'm going solve replacement, substitution, then I'm going to use the different color so you can see. It's gonna be z squared minus 2z minus 1 is equal 0. Let me see if we can FOIL it. Negative 2? No, we can't. So we have to go through discriminant. A discriminant, that's a formula when we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and x1, 2 is equal negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so let's write down a is equal 1, right? If I compare, and then b is equal negative 2, and c is equal negative 1. Okay, so from here, z 1, 2, let me one more time, is equal negative b is going to be positive 2 plus minus square root b squared will be 4 minus 4 times a is 1, c is negative 1, which means it will become plus here, right? And divided by 2a, 2 times 1 is 2. So what do we get? We get 2 plus minus, we get, what is it? 4 plus 4, square root of 8. So square root of 8 is square root of 4, square root of 2, right? Square root of 4 is 2. We get 2 square root of 2. So 2 square root of 2 divided by 2. Okay, and we are getting z1 is equal, So 2 we take out of parentheses, we are getting 1 plus minus square root of 2 divided by 2, which is cancelling. And we get z12 equal 1 plus minus square root of 2. So let me color with the light brown one so we know that we are going back to blue color, meaning going back to original problem, tangent x, not substitution, but back to trig function. Oops. Tangent x is equal 1 plus minus square root 2. Now, how I'm going to get x here? There's no way I can get x without calculator or any other technology. So therefore, I'm going to use function, arc function. So x is equal arc tangent. Real quick, what are arc meaning? Arc sine, arc cosine, arc tangent, arc cotangent, arc secant, arc cosecant. So, for example, when we have sine x is equal 90 equal 1. So our x is equal, we know our x is equal 90 degrees. It's because of unit circle, right? But what if I have the sine x is equal 1 plus square root of 5? I can't identify based on unit circle. Here it's helping us arc sine. What means arc sine? It's an opposite operation. Let's say you have the result 1 plus square root 5, and it's going to find you the angle, whatever angle is. Okay? So if sine x is equal 1, then arc sine 1 is going to be equal 90 degrees, right? So the arc function is opposite based on result of trig function. You find which angle is matching to that result. So therefore, since we have 1 plus square root 2 and 1 minus square root 2, it will be a right thing to do. Write down x is equal arc tangent. X is equal arc tangent 1, I would say, plus square root 2, and then plus pi n. And also x is equal arc tangent 1 minus square root 2 plus pi n. Now, why we used pi, not 2 pi? Because tangent, cotangent, if you look at the functions, that I have it video in Precalculus, and I'll put the link at the end of the video. The period for tangent and cotangent is 1 pi. Period for sine and cosine is 2 pi. Okay, therefore we put pi n. But since the equation requiring limiting us to solve the problem within 90 degrees, so if I put pi 180, so it will go beyond of 90 degrees. Therefore, I'm going to drop this, and the rest is going to be my answer. So instead, I will write down this way. On interval belongs to, it's meaning belong, this element, 90 degrees. Let me this one also clean, drafting. And this one also belongs to 90 degrees. And we are done with second function. Moving to third function. Let's solve the third trig function. Negative sine square x plus cosine square x equal cosine half of x. Okay, and we're going to solve x on the interval between 180 and 270 degrees. So here I have prepared formulas we are going to use. So let me rewrite in the following format, because I'm looking here, see, formula. If you compare to this one, by the way, this formula coming out from this one. Just replace 1 with sine squared plus cosine squared, and you will get this formula. Okay? So, clean. And I'm getting, if I rewrite cosine square x minus sine square x minus cosine x over 2 equals 0. So this piece I'm going to replace with cosine 2x minus cosine x over 2 is equal 0. Okay, here look what I have, cosine 2x minus cosine x squared. Since I can't do anything anymore, let's say cosine 2x I can bring to x, but then it will generate also square. So the easiest way here to solve is apply the formula that we haven't used so far, and that is cosine alpha, difference of cosine alpha minus cosine beta is equal negative 2 sine alpha plus beta over 2 times sine alpha minus beta, hold on, sine alpha minus beta over 2. Okay, what is gonna happen here? So it's gonna be negative 2 sine, my alpha is 2x, my beta is half of x. So we are going to get 2x plus half of x and divided by 2. And here is sine, alpha is 2x plus half of x and divided by 2 is equal 0. From here we have negative 2 sine 2x plus half of x, it's going to be 2 and half, which is going to be 5 over 2x, right? 2x plus half for 2, so it's going to be 2 plus 1 half, right? 2 and half, or 5 over 2. 5 over 2x divided by 2, and then sine 2 minus 2x minus half of x is equal to minus 1 half. It's going to be 1 and 1 half. It's going to be 3 over 2, right? 3 over 2x over 2 equals 0. All right, so from here, negative 2 sine 5 over 2 divided by 2, it's going to get 5 over 4. Yes, 5 over 4x, and then sine 3 divided by 2, the 3 over 2 divided by 2, we get 3 over 4x equal 0. All right, now since we have multiplication, then we can say sine 5 over 4x equals 0. So where we have sine is 0 at the point of 0 and pi, right? So it's going to be equal 5 over 4. X is equal pi n. Yes? So, which means x is equal 4 over 5 pi n. Next, sine 3 over 4x is equal 0. So from here, 3 over 4x is equal also pi n, because it's the same situation, sine 0. And x is equal 4 over 3 pi n. Okay, now, here's the thing. We have to find the answer of x on interval 180 degrees to 170 degrees. Well, let's do it. I'm going to take n is equal 0. So x will be equal 0. When n is equal 1, I'm solving for this case, x is equal 4/5. So exploring n is equal 1, right? X is going to be equal 4 times, I'm multiplying by pi, which is 180, divided by 5. This is 1/36. I'm getting 144 degrees. Doesn't fit in the interval, it's out of interval. So n equal 2, so equal, well, n is equal 2, I'll just take 144 multiplied by 2, right? Since n is equal 144, then 144 degrees times 2, we get 288. Okay, 288 also out of the end, which means this answer cannot be considered as an answer because it's out of range. We are interested. Now let's move to 4 over 3 pi n. So when n is equal 1, I'm skipping equals 0 because it's 0, it's clear. So 4 over 3 times 180, this is 1, this is 60, it's making 240, it's perfect. It's going to be within the range. If I take n is equal to, let me fix this notation. N is equal to, then x gonna be equal to 240 times 2, 480, which is out of range. So the answer is 240 degrees. Okie dokie, I'm done. Thank you for watching. As always, you have questions, type it in the comments. Other than that, I'll see you in next video, and I'll put the link to the video that is related to this trig equations, okay?